Today we will be talking to Julia Fetti, and she has actually contributed some part to Blossom and Bloom. Julia is a manifestation coach and a burlesque dancer. We'll be sharing the benefits of dancing and how it can have healing effects on the body.
Hey, Ani, thank you so much for having me. And it was such a honor to contribute to your course. So thank you so much. And I'm excited to share a little bit more today. So yes, I actually have a large background in dance. I started when I was 3 years old in ballet. I tried a variety of different styles and types, jazz, tap, belly dance, swing, you name it, I've tried it. But I really felt that burlesque allowed me to just be my full authentic self. So it was really cool to contribute to the course and explain healing through dance in this way. Um, and I'm also a manifestation coach, so I do incorporate modalities of dance in my work, and I feel that it really helps with fueling the transformation process, being able to tap into the somatic mind-body therapy when we are going through this up level and transformation in our lives.
Definitely. And can you tell us a little bit more why you chose burlesque over other dance modalities?
Of course. So for me, burlesque, I'm like a huge history buff, and burlesque goes back towards like the 1400s, actually. And so I love that kind of element of history that it has. But one of the main reasons I love burlesque is that everyone can be a part of burlesque, unlike sometimes other forms of dance is inhibiting. And we can really tap into our creative selves with burlesque. You can incorporate actually other styles of dance through burlesque. You can also incorporate like music performance. You can incorporate comedy. There's like a variety of different elements to burlesque that I feel like just makes it so inclusive. Um, but I also love burlesque personally because it's very much a spiritual experience for me. So, when I'm like peeling off these layers, it feels like, I set the intention to peel off these kind of limiting beliefs and things that don't serve me. And it allows me to step into my full, like raw, authentic self. So these performances, like, are very intentional and light me up. And it's beautiful that the audience can, experience that healing as well.
Mm-hmm. And in the course, you talk about, again, the importance of intention. Can you talk a little bit more in terms of it's not just the movement, but you're actually intending what the movement means and what you're doing with the whole art of dance?
Yeah. So, when we are intentional about dancing, we can, set that intention from the beginning. If there's something that we are currently healing or going through, I really encourage others to write down, like, I am releasing so and so limiting belief, or it could be like some sort of trauma that is stuck in the body that we want to release. So I think especially as women, we have, different stressors in our root and sacral chakra.
Mhm.
And we can set that intention. I releasing XYZ trauma or stress in my body. And when we allow that energy to move through and be released, it can all, not to say that talk therapy isn't valuable, I think it really is. But somatic and movement therapy can allow us to tap into deep parts of ourselves that you wouldn't be able to in other modalities, if that makes sense. So I think setting that intention is important to get the most out of your practice.
And in terms of going back to burlesque and dancing, like how do you feel your femininity has blossomed, or you've been able to express yourself more as a feminine, or where have you felt like this unblocking of your energy through burlesque or through dancing?
Yeah. So I feel that burlesque is incredibly empowering for femme identity, like females, and everyone. And the reason I feel that I can express my femininity more through burlesque is because I am intentional with the costumes that I wear, and it actually allows me to be more sensual with my body and tap into this flow state that is so natural for women. And
Mhm.
it allows me to tap into that energy, and it just is very empowering to express that and be sensual in this way because it's so natural for us to express in this manner.
Yeah, definitely. And again, going back to not becoming stiff as women and how that plays a role in our daily life and the importance of actually not becoming stiff. Can you touch a little bit on that?
Of course. So I think it's also, just inevitable that we have stress in our bodies, especially, working and from a desk. Like there's always going to be stiffness in our bodies. And I encourage others to just be mindful of when that stiffness arises and acting on it. And the only way to prevent more stiffness in your body is by, stretching or, you know, incorporating exercise that can release this stiffness. And so, when you do feel that stiffness in your neck or in your hips or whatever it is, I really, encourage you to just step back, maybe like massage part of your neck or just move it out when you can. Otherwise, that stress is just going to build up more and more and create more stiffness.
Yeah. And I mean, the stiffness in the body, of course, shows in the daily life as well, right? In all
Absolutely.
actions. So, can we also a little bit talk about the healing aspect and how movement actually helps the healing process and the importance of movement in the healing process
Mhm.
and how that can look like in different aspects?
Yeah, of course. So, in terms of movement, dance isn't going to be for everyone, right? So you can receive the same benefits through healing through movement if you're into running. These different blockages within our energy or stress related is released through other activities as well. So that could even like be through body work or massage. It could be through, sports or anything like that. I think it really depends on the person and what they really enjoy the most.
Mhm.
And again, the way that we can heal through movement is by being intentional. So if there's something that is inhibiting us moving forward that feels stuck in the body, it can be released through that movement. Um, it could even be through like mind body, right? I talk about somatic therapy. So it could be different things that are on your mind as well that you need to release. Like, I don't want to think about this anymore. So I'm going to be intentional about, moving this energy through in this way, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And for someone who feels like they are really stiff or their energy is stuck somehow, and how where would you recommend for them to start if they are
Mhm.
not familiar with dance or they feel awkward in their bodies? And yeah, where would you recommend to start for someone like
Yeah, absolutely. So that's definitely understandable. We all feel comfortable in different ways. And I would say even just if you're in your room, like by yourself, just kind of like stretching and really feeling into your body versus like starting out trying to move in whatever way. Like, I really encourage others to not force this movement and kind of just tap into intentional stretching and where do you feel this tension and kind of move forward with increasing the movement a little bit in a way that feels right in your own private space, right? So, or even seeking out like a movement therapist as well, could be really helpful.
Mhm.
But I would say starting with yourself and just understanding how your body feels to you and what feels authentic. Um, and also, different movements can feel differently to others, right? Especially when it comes with the feminine. Like maybe someone feels more feminine if they are, incorporating more wrist movements, or someone might feel more feminine if they're, I guess playing with like hip movements. So it could look differently for everyone. And that's why I encourage just experimenting with, okay, this doesn't feel right to me, but maybe this other move does. And it's just kind of a journey getting to know yourself and what feels right.
Yeah, definitely. And also, I guess it's just the first step to acknowledge and, become comfortable in your body, and movement
Mhm.
really helps with that as well.
I just want to say that, movement and dance, even if you don't feel that, oh, I'm not a dancer, I could never dance. I don't feel that way. I feel that
Mhm.
we can always build up our skills, and dance doesn't need to be professional. It doesn't need to be anything that you don't want it to be. And so it's uniquely yours, and it should just feel good for you. So yeah, go out there and move and do what feels right for your body, and put a little feminine twist in it if you feel called.